Hello stars, did you reach for the sky today? Let me catch you up on what's been happening in my world. House of Tanya here with my Miss George Bush shirt. It was funnier when Donald Trump was still president. In any case, we've moisturized and now we're gonna go in with this hopefully effective routine to lock makeup on your face during this hot weather. I'm certainly, perspiring, and this is a good test for this makeup technique. So you take some powder and just powder your face generously over your moisturizer. Today I've used this Nivea cream that they say is a good enough and certainly affordable dupe for La Mer, which is something like $250 an ounce or some crazy price like that. It's got seaweed in it, but in terms of, its effect, it may or may not be worth the dollar amount unless, you really are just pursuing luxury and you have a lot of coins that you want to give up in the process. But, we've had a little bit of drama in the last week. We've been working. I tested onto a project on a Saturday and I didn't hear anything. And I thought, oh, well, I had a negative test for COVID, of course, but I thought, oh, maybe I just wasn't selected. There was a whole schedule of dates to work and I thought, oh, well, I'm just out of luck. But then I was sitting here having breakfast on Monday and I got a call like, oh, where are you? I was like, where am I, what? So, I didn't have details. I was so stressed out. I went late. None of the information about where things were, like what gate to enter at the lot, none of that was accurate. I figured it out. I got there and thank God and the ancestors, I fit my costume because, one of the issues with, COVID quarantine is, a lot of people have put on a lot of weight, including me. And that can sometimes wreck the sizes that are on your profile matching the size that you actually are. So, in that moment, I felt good about the wardrobe person's pleasure that I actually fit my costume, and I'm guessing that meant some people didn't. No, there's nothing wrong with being any size. It just ultimately is an issue for costuming because these are the costumes they pulled for you. They want them to fit, but if they don't, everyone wants to make everyone else look good. So we powdered. The key now is to take some kind of setting spray. This isn't an expensive one. It's from the dollar store. Smoke and Mirror setting spray in ethereal silver. And you're supposed to put that on. Beauty routine. The issue is, does setting spray have alcohol? And I believe the answer is yes. Here's my little fan. Hopefully dry the setting spray as well as the perspiration. But yeah, water, glycerin, butylene glycol, carbomer, portulaca oleracea extract, calendula, aloe, blah blah blah. So I think the butylene glycol must be alcohol. There's castor oil and PEG 40, synthetic flagopite, I don't know. But anyway, you let this layer dry, right? Moisturizer, powder, and this was a banana powder from our friends at Wet n Wild. It's Photo Focus banana powder. Let that dry on, and then you're supposed to take some primer, and for this purpose, a CoverGirl True Blend face primer for oily skin. I don't generally think I have oily skin, but I certainly have it in the summer. Moisturizer and oils can make things oily. So put a little squirt of that into our little mixing dish, and then we have our silicone blending sponge. Now this is great because it doesn't absorb product, but it's not like you're sticking your fingers in everything. Just get that on your sponge, dot that around, and then rub that in, because the theory is that the primer is supposed to help lock your foundation on, and since this is for oily skin, maybe it'll make you look less oily on camera. So yeah, after I got to my fitting, sometimes when you're scheduled to work on projects, the days can change. That's mostly the case. Even if you're told that you're gonna work for like 5 days or a week, that can quickly turn into 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but certainly not all 5. But kudos to this project, because every day that's been scheduled for something, they've been holding to it. And I don't know, I don't think I should be surprised, but I am surprised at the level of professionalism and how kind everyone is. Like even the security guards at the gate, you know, are very kind. You know, they require you to fill out an affidavit to say that you're not positive, exposed, or sick or whatever. You gotta fill that out. You gotta scan a barcode or a QR code, fill that out, and then you get your belongings searched, which is, you know, this is routine on a lot of lots because clearly there's a reason, but you know, it's not a big deal. And they're very cool and everyone's very friendly. You know, it's not like a hostile or a can't be bothered type vibe, which sometimes, not everyone, but at some stages, at some studios, sometimes, you know, people can't even tell you where you're going. Like I've already talked about the confusing directions. You gotta be Dora the Explorer with it. You gotta figure it out and get there on time. So everything turned out fine. You know, it's just that I'm new to this project. You know, I've been regular on other shows or whatever, but I feel like I'm on a show where a lot of people know each other. Wow, this actually has an impressive finish. This is CoverGirl oil, some kind of oil something primer. Oily skin primer. Designed for your unique skin type, minimizes shine. So far so good. Minimizes shine breakout and creates a smooth canvas for perfect foundation application. I'm impressed. CoverGirl True Blend. Like I feel like my face looks good enough already. You know, I don't look quite as sweaty and you know, shiny as I did. So let's see. From here, we're primed. I'm trying to remember. Do you powder the primer or do you just put foundation on over the primer? What I do want to try today is underpainting, right? So we have this set of products that are cream, right? Here's an illuminator stick, brightening creamy concealer in fair. So not our color, but we're underpainting. And then we got hold of this also CoverGirl full spectrum deep cool brightening concealer. Brightening concealer, very dark. Brightening concealer, very light. Let's try to do some contouring and highlighting. So if we start with our contour shade, I think it comes on a wand. Maybe what we can do is take a small brush and try to be precise with it and also very quick with it. You know, but I got into some trouble at that show because you know, we had to sort of move time and again. You know, it's sort of a new season. People are working out where we're holding for different groups of people will be, where can you sit because of COVID and all that. So in moving from one place to the other, it looked like someone had abandoned their breakfast. Like sometimes people get called very quickly and they have to, you know, they have to go. But when the insects get to it, you know, it's time to put it in the trash. And I touched someone's stuff and they got very irritated at me. It was maybe a little too much, but it's just a warning, right? Like, this is not my house. There are people who've been on this project who feel like it's their thing. They can do whatever they want. This doesn't seem as cool as I would have hoped, or as dark, but let's see if we can make it work. It's a brightening concealer, but it's supposed to be deep. But this is what's going on with shade range, right? To some people, this is deep. To other people, this is not deep. This isn't deep to me. This is like a caramel color. But you know, I apologized and got this person new breakfast, and they kind of seem to accept that. But you know, like, my thing is like, ooh, I'm gonna stay away from that person, because there's, you know, something going on, you know. And then people can get like touchy about whether you're getting more, like, I guess, privilege or days or camera time. I don't know. I'm new to this group, but it's been great, and the crew is very professional. You know, you get that great thing where people kind of know each other and kind of work well together because they know each other. But you know, again, being kind of newish to the project, I don't want to step on any toes, but I was surprised, you know, just because I do know this person socially outside of this, and I wasn't anticipating any kind of drama. But you know, hopefully that's all squashed. You know, had a good week, and you know, a lot of work, which is what everyone wants. This is what the quote contour is looking like. There are people who say, you know, put a lot more contour into the forehead area. There are theories about, it's almost like you're putting down you're tracing out where your eyeshadow will be. So going up from your lid to the corner of your brow. I don't know if that's gonna help any matters, but we're gonna try it. And what's beautiful is that once you start with your cream products, you can reinforce everything with powders later on. So this isn't the darkest, most extreme kind of contour. This is certainly not as deep as I thought it would be, but it's something, right? And our theory is to underpaint. So from here, we take this very pale, illuminating concealer, or brightening, creamy concealer, put it into all the brightening places, right? So the inner corner of the eye, I just watched a tutorial by Wayne Goss saying that this is really important, but maybe almost all you need to do. Just make sure this part is bright. So underneath your foundation, this is a foundation, L'Oreal Visible Lift in Sun Beige. Hopefully the name on the cap is what's actually in the bottle. You never know. You know, again, current theory, and there went my light. Oh, this is still charging. That's part of the problem, but they say underneath where your eyeshadow is going to go up from there and up from there. Hopefully our light will come back. We do have some daylight coming through the window. Down the center of the nose. Brightening concealer. It's not opaque, it's translucent. Some on the chin to try to widen the chin, some on the forehead, right? I think that should be good. Maybe in the creases around the nose. And then if we use our sponge to blend it, maybe we'll have done something that will help our face look better. Where did I put my sponge? Than it would have without it. here. So starting with the highlight points around the nose, the inner corner of the eye, just, you know, try to smush that in, middle of the nose, inner corner of the eye. You want to like blend it so that its presence is there, right? And you're going to have a brighter layer underneath your foundation, maybe on the middle of the upper lip, Cupid's bow area, right there, up from the eye, underneath where the eyeshadow would be. And then maybe we can use a different corner to kind of rub in the contour so that you're not having like really harsh lines, but you do have some contrast that you built under your foundation. Now, you've seen me do this real harsh and crazy in the past, and you know, maybe this will be good. Underpainting, not the darkest contour, but maybe a very pale highlight. Let's see what that does, because that's the only thing. Like, you can go and just put a primer on and maybe that'll make you not look oily and then you'll look cool, but you can also damp beauty sponge this Visible Lift Serum Absolute Advanced Age Reversing Makeup. It has sunscreen in it. A lot of people poo-poo the sunscreen. Let's try one pump. A lot of these foundations we've been working with are really one pump wonders. Like, you really will be wasting it if you use more than one pump. And just the same end of the sponge that we put the brightening concealer on, and let's dot. Let's have a dot party. Dot that on and see if we can restore human color. You know, a lot of these cream sunscreens make you ghosty white, and that's not always the best. You have to, you know, compensate for those sunscreens. Some of them don't have that kind of white bluish cast, but you know, as a person of color, you can feel like, oh man, until you see, you know, people who are of European descent wearing it, and they also look pale and white and blue, not human, because most people don't have skin that's the color of sunscreen, that kind of sunscreen. You know, there's discussions about chemical sunscreen versus non-chemical sunscreen, and whether they're good for you, bad for you, neutral, better than nothing. You know, for centuries, people lived without sunscreen. So is it the ozone layer wearing off? No one knows. So, not terrible. I feel like this foundation is very warm in color, but it has given us a uniform color that maybe has incorporated more of our highlight than our contour. You know, one error was that I did not fully charge my lighted mirror before starting this, but we're gonna press through because I know I've been absent quite a bit, just having given priority to being at work, you know. But when you're in a rush, you're not picky. You're like, oh, I gotta go. So foundation on, let's get into some no blush. This is Dr. Perricone Cosmeceuticals. Let's see if we can, you know, give ourselves a blush. And they say that cream products or liquid look more natural, more authentic as part of your skin. And I think that we can use our same sponge instead of messing up our fingers to give us a little zhuzh on the cheek. Never actually used this product before, and it only comes in one color, so is that color going to be good for me? Aha! Put that into our dish. Will we need more than that? Let's go ham. We'll give ourselves 2 little smears. It seems to be a kind of a pink, maybe with some tones of coral in it. We're gonna use our same silicone sponge, pick up a dot, high on the cheekbone, high on the cheekbone. You certainly see a lot of people painting in different shapes and whatnot on TikTok, across the nose, as if you're in a sunburn situation, across the forehead, as if the sun is kissing your forehead, maybe on the chin, you know. But really, let's let the colors show, you know. And let's try to use every bit of our product. It seems more liquidy, not so much a gel or something like that. It doesn't dry down super fast, so you can move it around a little bit and try to get, you know, the look of color, like when you've exercised or made sweet love, just some color into your face that, you know, will help you look healthy. So if this is this, we can think about where we can powder, right? Where we can powder, where we can add some enhancement to our contour with powder, where we can add some enhancement to our blush with powder blush. So if what we first do is take, I guess, a different powder brush, and this is a Winky Lux matte point powder. It says it's transparent, setting powder for all skin tones. Does that look like my skin tone? Let's try it with our Japanese brush. Get in there. We're not using, everyone seems to be talking about powder puffs these days. I don't know. I'm unconvinced. Not because I tried it and I don't like it, I just haven't tried it. So just by memory, remember where you put your highlighter, where you want the lighter parts of your face to be, and just paint on that color there under the eye, hopefully to prevent creasing. We've already got creasing, and you know, around the nose and around the chin. So the center of the face, where you want it to be brighter, and you don't want to cancel out your blush, but you want to reinforce that highlight, maybe on the brow bone and there. So if people had their cameras on you, would you look human? Let's hope so. Okay, from here we go in with our favorite UR Glam contour brush, and this very neutral contour shade, which is darker of 2 colors that are available. I quite like this brush. I quite like this contour. So on just kind of the bottom of the cheekbone, right? Reinforcing what we did with our attempted use of concealer. Just reinforce that contour. Also on the nose. Just very gently with the corner, trace that line, go under the nose, just under the brow, then canceling out that double chin. Hopefully. We got into some trouble the other day. There were birthday cupcakes and we had one and it was delicious. It was a chocolate ganache filled chocolate cupcake with a kind of like black and white icing. That is my jam. Loved it. Maybe a little in the crease. But yeah, real world circumstances. I'm kind of like, you know, sweaty. But I'm trying to create a habit where I am doing all the things so that, you know, maybe we'll be impressed after the fact. We'll see. Contour shade. Then there's a lot of people who say bronzer should be used with a fan brush. Do we need to bronze, or should we just go in with a blush color? This is our Milani blush and some false eyelashes that are going walkabout. Okay, so Milani blush, and where is a brush that we can use with you? I apologize for the foolish music, but you know, we can't necessarily control what's going on outside. I don't know if that's an ice cream truck or what's going on, or if people are just interested in driving me insane, but this is how we're living. I don't know if we're finding a satisfactory blush brush. We have so many brushes, but nothing quite right here. I think we've used this brush, this angled brush, for blush as well as bronzer. Let's go in with this for the blush. Hopefully there's nothing on this brush, but whatever. So I never know exactly how to place the angle. I just think that having the angle maybe gives you less of a flat, you know, pointed rectangle application like you saw in the 80s. This is like a luminous blush. We're just hitting all the places we put our cream blush, and there, blushing. Milani has a very good reputation, and it's also very affordable. So from here, what should we do? Should we go in with some sort of eyeshadow palette from our friends at ColourPop? This is Lush Life, and it has, you know, a whole color story for summer. Names like Eco, Wildlife, It's Paradise, Guava, Hotness, Palm Palm, Juicy, Hideaway, Noni, On the Prowl, Monsoon, and Eden. And we have our variety of Naughty Jeffree Star brushes and some other brushes. Let's get into it. Let's do something a little crazy. I guess we'll use Eco, this peach color, as our transition color, and take it from there. Should we try some kind of eyeshadow primer? Let's see. This is our little plastic container of eyeshadow primer, and you know, let's rock with this NYX eyeshadow base. Let's just use our finger. Oof, our little, that's a lot though, right? Maybe we'll put it on the back of our hand, you know, and try to create a base that gives us more color payoff. You know, I never know if I should powder the eyeshadow base first, but as you see, it's quite white, and we're just putting it in the eyeshadow places. I don't know if the tackiness is going to give us better grip or what, but there's that. Let's give a little whirl with our fan, help us dry off and dry the eyeshadow base. You know, experimenting. We have, thanks to the employment gods and our union, we have a paid day off. This is what you call a carry day, so that when, you know, people are not working on a particular show, they don't roam off to a different show and get infected with COVID-19 of whatever form. So these are blending brushes. I think I'm just gonna take this. It's a highlighter brush actually, but I'm gonna use this to lay down. I'm gonna go for a pale transition color, this Eco, and just put it all across. I could put it all across the whole eyelid. Let's try that. All across the eyelid. You're supposed to hold your brushes at the tip to give you less pressure and more blendability. I don't hate that. you know, it's sort of coloring in that very white eyeshadow primer. And it feels good. And it seems to be giving us like a gentle, warm base. You know, highlighting both the brow bone and the inner corner, and sort of being our kind of more powdery, dusty base for adding in these other colors. So, you know, it's summer. We're rocking with summer. We have a lot of brushes. This is what you call a packing brush. And we have some more precision brushes. Oh, we have some eyeliner from our friends at Lancome. So let's try to rock with that, because I think it has a very good point on it. But this might be a better brush. All right. So if that's our base, then maybe we can go in with, what do you think? Not a brown, that would be boring. How about a blue? And there's a couple of different greens. So why don't we go in with this green and try to, I guess we should put that into the crease. Our friend Jeffree Star, who he just doesn't stop getting himself in trouble. Let's see. This might be a lot. And some people, again, they put on their eye makeup before they do their foundation and whatnot in case there's fallout. Some people put like kind of stickers and iPads on, and we didn't do that. We're gonna rock with this and go in our crease and the outer V, crease, stretching it out toward the corner of the brow, crease, outer V, and the same on the other side. Crease, and I have hooded eyes, so my crease, I try to build it above where my actual crease is. And the shape is, you want to kind of bring it up and out, and then crease, outer V, crease, outer V. Now, for drama, that was a bad choice. For drama, we might want to use a precision brush to put some of this blue color called Monsoon into the green, just to break it up. It's very pretty because I'm a very yellow, orange, you know, I have some golden, olivey undertones. I'm a little confused now given my introduction to MAC Cosmetics, because it's suggesting that I'm cool, or at least I use an NC foundation, which it's cool, which is the opposite of what I am, which I think is warm, or am I olive? I'm not sure. It's a lot, and it's a little confusing. So here's this pointy brush. Doesn't have label. I think it's Eco Tools. We're gonna go in with a little blue, a little Monsoon, get it on that point, and kind of reinforce the outer V with this blue. Reinforce the outer V with the blue. Maybe drag it a little bit more toward the middle of the eye, but not all the way across. Building up and adding it as a layer on top of the green. Same on the other side. On the tip of this brush, in the outer V, not all the way across, but a more precision brush. Grip it at the tip and draw. It's very pretty. It's like peacock colors, if you can see a little bit better with the light. And quite, the light did not last. Quite pretty. Up in a little point and all the way across. I don't dislike it. Now, some people would drag it underneath the eye. I feel like that makes my eyes kind of heavy, but maybe I'll do it a little bit, just a little bit. You know, eye drama, right? Our thing as people who identify as women is to look different than men, provide a little drama. Certainly this green and blue eyeshadow provides that, and I think the primer did help. And then with our packing brush, let's maybe get into, should we go for bright green, or should we go for this hotness color, which is kind of like a pinky orange? Let's try that. Drag that across and pack that on. Now we're not cutting the crease, we're just packing it on. And you know, we're not wetting our brush, but the color payoff is quite impressive. And it seems to work color-wise. Very pretty. It's almost like a pinky rust. I don't dislike it. How about you? But yeah, we could never wear anything like this to our day job because it is way too glamorous and way too colorful for anything happening in this story world so far. Oops. There go the brushes. But yeah, I quite like this. So yeah, our friends at ColourPop, you know, they say ColourPop is actually what Kylie Cosmetics are made of. It was just kind of like a licensing deal. And we know Kylie Cosmetics has perhaps been overvalued, and maybe some things were done to influence investors to spend money that, you know, perhaps the company wasn't actually worth that. But, you know, let the buyer beware. So many brushes. Put that aside. But, yeah, I kind of like dig this eyeshadow, right? It's kind of flattering. You know, green and blue and whatnot. I like it. So from here, all we have to do is line the eye and do our lip color. And I don't even know if we're gonna go for a false lash. But yeah, so here's our eyeliner. This is Lancome. Little inner corner flick. Go across the lash line. Keep your eye open. I don't hate it. See how that lengthens the eye and complements the eyeshadow. This has a very nice tip, very precise. You know, I'm developing my inner corner flick technique. But yeah, it's hard to stop wanting to close your eye, pull on your eye, etc. to do your eyeliner. But when you keep your eye open, it's just that gesture, right? Because I have a hooded eye, I can't just go crazy and make a wing that points at the sky. I have to make a wing that works with my eye shape. And you know, mistakes aren't the end of the world because you're learning, right? Lancome, they make a nice eyeliner in the color Noir, which is black. A lot of people are going for the brown eyeliners, but let's just quickly line our lips, and then we're going to use this VicRam Permanent Pout Matte Lip Paint and see what that's all about. But we're going in with an NYX Professional Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a Turn On Waterproof Extreme Color Lip Liner. So yeah, line the old lips. celebrate this amazing eyeshadow. Round liner. It creates drama. And VicRam is a lifestyle guru. The most perfect suit all pinky nude shade hand mixed by me. Made by Pop Beauty. Very cute packaging. I'm not sure how I came into possession of this lip color, but here we go. Mm-hmm. 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 I don't dislike it. Pop Beauty and VicRam, and it smells good. It smells like candy. It's very cute. You can rub your lips together to try to make some symmetry happen. I don't dislike it. Our mirror is not cooperating. And from here, I don't even know if we want to do false lashes. Maybe a little mascara. Since we did such an interesting eyeshadow look and eyeliner, I'm not unhappy with this eyeliner, by the way. I did it fast, but baby, it's kind of giving what it needs to give. This is just some L'Oreal Voluminous Full Definition Mascara. We're gonna go to the gym later. We might do some working out here, and we'll definitely be sweating this stuff off. So, you know, giving you realness, giving you lived in, worn in makeup looks. But, you know, pretty. This inner corner flick, it's important to get an eyeliner that has a very sharp, precise tip. And that's what it is. So yeah, just to complete my story of work, you know, I feel like I'm in a different environment because this is a later season on a show. You know, I was just talking to some people that I kind of know there, and some other people were kind of eavesdropping on the conversation and wanted to talk to me about what I was talking about. Like I was talking about like casting and people who have interactions with casting people, and what was curious was that it was just a very one-way conversation. There wasn't any anecdote or opinion shared. It was almost like, oh, let me see what you're talking about, and walk away. And you know, when different things happen, I see that certain people talk to each other and not to me, right? It feels like a territorial thing. It definitely feels like there are, you know, groups within the group, and that's fine. You know, but it's a new land. I mean, imagine just being at work and just looking around at 100 people and you don't really know any of them. But you're kind of in this family all of a sudden, and that's a very, you know, it can be a very curious dynamic. You know, you have to be ready to rock with any of it and be yourself and keep yourself happy and fed, and the food's been great, maybe too great. Cupcakes and all that stuff, and pastrami, and it's been delicious. But yeah, I mean, I think practicing our makeup teaches us how to be more precise when we're in a rush, underpaint, do some highlighting and contouring, reinforce with powder in certain places. Maybe you want to leave the outsides of your face less powdered and just powder the middle part so you're not shiny and looking strange. But you know, this would be, I think, a fun party look for a night of clubbing. But you know, I feel like I'm getting more practice with my brushes and practice with palettes and, you know, lip liner and lip color, and you know, I'm committed, if nothing else, to using my products, and you know, taking things from my kit into the real world so that I can be camera ready, and then I can also be, you know, ready to deal with whatever happens, you know, in terms of production and in terms of, you know, writing and pitching my own projects. You know, one of the people I'm working with, unfortunately, gave my contact information to somebody who was giving me the 3rd degree. If you can imagine, I don't know this person. They're demanding to know my contacts. They're demanding my whole, you know, my whole kind of like resume, and it's like in a kind of like email, text kind of situation, which is off-putting to say the least. And this is someone senior who, they have their experience in their world and their contacts, but then if that's true, why are they leaning on me so hard out of the blue? And I'm trying to be polite, but I'm a little pissed off. It's a lot, you know, it's a lot for people, in as much as you're concerned and you're stressed and you're working hard to do that job on top of your regular job, but then here comes like dynamics that all day were very distressing and rude and distracting. When I have a paid day off, I am trying to take advantage of it and do the things I need to do, but you know, people are not necessarily respecting that, and my mirror is not respecting me either. Boo-hoo. But yeah, so that's the look. You know, we try to be true to ourselves at House of Tanya and enhance what we're working with, but we also want to be camera ready and kind of, you know, roll with the dynamics that can happen with people in the workplace, both good and bad. I mean, it's inspiring. It's great to be employed, always. It's great to be in a union and have a union job. And it is somewhat of a challenge, both in terms of your weight, your look, your hair, your makeup, your clothes, and your acting. So, you know, we want to get it, keep getting it, and go with it, and, you know, hopefully survive our challenges with COVID-19. I mean, I think today is the first day that I've heard any production company is requiring vaccinated actors only. And that certainly seems like the direction that things are going to go in from here on out. And, you know, it makes sense. Anyway. House of Tanya, stars, are you with me? Stars, are you striving? Hope you are, and I hope you're taking all your life lessons and work lessons and money smarts into the workplace so that you can get it and go with it.